Hi everyone, welcome to the first video for my English with Tanya YouTube channel. So my objective here is to teach you English, help you learn English, and give you help where you need it with your English learning, okay? So my first video is about how to learn a language, okay, what my tips are. So I would like to share with you that I have also learnt Italian, so I can speak Italian. So I understand the challenges of learning a new language. And I can also say that if I can speak Italian, anybody can speak English, okay? So number one tip is to study the English grammar concepts, okay? It's really important that you understand how the language is organized and how it is structured, okay? So you need to understand how we use present simple, when we use present simple, and how present simple is formed, okay? How do we use present continuous? Once you understand those concepts, it's easy to start using the language. But very important, I didn't say to study the language. A big mistake that people make is to study English, so they study the English language, okay? So study the concepts, learn more or less how something is formed, and I will be doing lessons in present simple, present perfect. We will go through a whole program of grammar. Learn how each grammar tense is formed, and then try and use it, okay? You can study for 10 years the grammar, but if you don't start trying to talk, it's a waste of time, all right? So study grammar concepts, how, when we use certain grammar tenses, okay? Number two, do something every day, okay? Do something interesting every day. Watch English teachers on YouTube, follow Instagram accounts like mine, English with Tanya, okay, for little tips for vocabulary. Do something enjoyable every day, okay? So this takes me to point number three. Make it enjoyable. If it's boring, change the activity, okay? Do something that you find interesting, okay? Tip number four, read a book. Have a book that you read to help you with your vocabulary. Once again, make sure the book is something interesting for you, okay? You will not learn if you are reading something that is boring, okay? Make it interesting to you. And don't feel that you have to read the whole book in one night. Read a page or two, read one chapter, read half a chapter. It doesn't matter, okay? As long as you are doing something every day, that's what's important, okay? People ask me about watching films. Unless you are quite comfortable or confident with English, films can be very difficult. I always suggest to watch films with subtitles. So in English, with English subtitles, so that you are learning as you go. If you don't understand everything, it doesn't matter. If you become tired after 20 minutes, turn it off. If you are bored, turn it off. If it's too difficult, turn it off, okay? Watching films can be demoralizing. That means it can make you feel like you don't understand anything. That's because in English, we use a lot of expressions, a lot of phrasal verbs, okay, when we talk. So understanding films happens when you're fairly confident with the language. But in any case, they can still be a really good tool for learning vocabulary, for learning expressions, and training your ear for listening, okay? My next tip is accept that it is a long process, okay? Learning a language, it takes a long time. Now, the idea of being fluent in a language or speaking a language perfectly, that is a fantastic objective to have, okay? But let's start with small steps, okay? Let's learn vocabulary, let's learn the grammar, let's try and have a conversation, let's try and understand a small part of a film, okay? Have some little objectives and be constant and consistent with the English study, English practice, doing something every day, and you will see very slowly but gradually you will improve and you will build your confidence, okay? Important for building your confidence is to not be afraid, okay? So no, don't be afraid of making mistakes. In fact, the only way you get better is by trying. So you need to make mistakes. Nobody speaks English perfectly the first time they try and speak it. It's impossible. You mistake, you learn, that's how you move forward, okay? And my last piece of advice is find someone to communicate with, okay? So that might be a native speaker. If you can find a native speaker, fantastic. If you don't find a native speaker and and someone who speaks English really well, that's fantastic too. We need to practice, okay? And we need to stop thinking about we need a native speaker, we have to study all the grammar. These old ideas about learning a language need to go, okay? It needs to be fun, it needs to be easy, it needs to be light, it needs to be enjoyable, okay? So find someone that you can practice with, and that's how you will build your confidence. So this is the first of my videos, and I will be taking you guys through a program where we will follow the grammar, as well as giving you help with phrasal verbs and tips and talking and listening and speaking. So it's going to be fun and I'm excited. Okay.